So most of the times when you have a set of clubs, you'll have a set of clubs that look very similar to this bag here. Probably the most important club in the bag is the one known as the putter. Okay, that's used on the putting greens only as a general rule. Okay, most of the times it's the shortest club in your bag, and it has a special grip on it designed to help you with the putting grip itself. The face is designed to roll the ball along the green, whereas all the rest of the clubs are designed to hit the ball up in the air. The putter's designed to get the ball rolling. So the most frequent clubs in the bag are the ones called the irons, and most of the irons will start at about a 3-iron. Now the 3-iron has the least amount of loft of your irons. There are 2 and 1 irons, but they're not very often nowadays. You hardly ever see them. So the 3-iron will have the least loft. It hits the ball the lowest, but generally the furthest of the irons that you will carry. We go from 3-iron down through to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-iron, 8-iron, all the way down to the things known as the pitching wedge. And you can see here, this is the pitching wedge. So what we have here is 3-iron on my right, all the way down to pitching wedge on the left. And you can see from looking at the faces that the loft increases as you go down towards the pitching wedge. The 3-iron again is the least loft and goes the lowest, whereas the pitching wedge has the most loft and goes the highest and short distance. Also looking at them when they're sitting on the ground, you can see that there's a length difference. So that length, the 3-iron again is the longest club, down to the pitching wedge is the shorter of the clubs. After the pitching wedge, we start with what is known as the sand irons. Now, I've got 2 sand irons in this bag. When you first start, you'll probably only have 1. But again, the sand irons have an awful lot of loft. Okay. So this one here is more my typical sand iron, and it has a different base to it. The base is designed to help bounce when you're coming out of sand. The club on the right is known as my lob wedge. I can still use it in the sand, but it's also designed to hit nice high shots off the grass. Then the final clubs that we have in a set of clubs are known as the woods and the hybrids. So the hybrids, these are designed to replace your long irons. I mentioned before about the 2 and the 1 iron aren't so popular anymore. Well, they've been replaced with this nice series of hybrids. They look a little bit like the wood in design, but they're much easier to use. You might be wondering why we still call them woods, or why we call them woods. Well, when I was young, these used to be made of wood. Now we make them of metal because it's a lot easier to use. So in some aspects they're called metal woods, but I just still prefer to call them woods. Golfers can be a little bit funny that way. Okay, so we call this one the driver. It's basically our number 1 wood. It hits the ball the longest distance. We always use the driver off a tee. So when we play it, we use the little tee, we stick the ball on top of that tee, and that gives us a little bit of help hitting the ball with the driver. Just down from the driver, we'll have a club known as a fairway wood or a 3 wood. So you can see the 3 wood is a little bit smaller. It's not quite so long as the driver, and it's designed to hit the ball either off a tee or off the fairway. Generally used on the longer holes for maybe your second shots, and it's just shaped nicely to pick the ball up off the fairway and give you a little bit of extra distance on the fairway. So in recap, in a set of clubs, we'll generally have 3 woods, 9 irons and a putter, which leaves you 1 spare club if you want an extra club in your bag, maybe another wood or maybe an extra sand iron, giving you a total of 14 clubs in your set of clubs. So that gives you an idea of the clubs and what they're used for.